What we're going to show now is another type of attack in which the bad guy is actually going to go through the XGS and he's going to do another attack. But this particular time is going to go on an attack on port 8080, which he saw open when he was running his scan, and he is going to do another type of very powerful SQL injection vulnerability exploit in which he's going to bypass the login of the application. Is going to become an admin altogether. And as before, the XGS is going to be telling QRadar about SQL injection going, but now we're going to have the capability of talking back to the XGS, and we're going to actually be asking it when we do a right click on that particular port to actually block all the traffic going on port 8080 to that particular IP. So let's see that. So we are gonna open a browser as before, and we are gonna be going through this particular bookmark that forces us to go to the XGS through the XGS appliance. And for the login, what we're gonna do is actually we are going to paste a SQL injection, a very powerful one and simple one, which is an evaluation that always is going to evaluate to true, because 1 is always equal to 1. And in the password field, we can put whatever we want to put in there. It doesn't really matter. So, and then we click login, and we're going to see that, let me make sure that QRadar is in real-time streaming to capture, so we see things as they occur. Real-time streaming, and we're gonna click on login, and we see that we have login as an admin, and we have, in fact, we can see account summary, and we have the same admin rights as we had before. So in QRadar detected that the IP or the XGS IPS sent a notification to QRadar, and we can actually pause the screen here in QRadar because we're going to exercise that right click option. In fact, if we scroll to the right in here, we should be able to see that this action came on port 80. So we click on port 80 and we right click and select on plugin options, generate an ISNMP alert, and it tells block anything that comes on that port for that particular address. And that's all we have to do. In fact, if we go to the XGS, the Site Protector console, and we see the actual appliance, and we right click on it. Let's refresh the agent to make sure that we see the latest information. And now if we right click again and go into properties, we're going to see we should see on the quarantine that we have an active quarantine rule, and here it is, this one in green. And let's prove that that's the case, that the XGS is actually blocking anything coming on that port. Open a command window in here, and we ping that server ping 10.0.1.4. we see that we can still communicate because this doesn't go over port 8080. However, if we, for example, do an nmap and we specify -p option for port, we say port 8080, so test that particular port on address 10.0.1.4, we see that it says filter by HTTP proxy, as we can see there. if we repeat the same command, but we actually do it on port 80, we see that that one is going to go through. Says, you know, that is not blocked by the proxy. Now, if we actually go here into the XGS console and we disable that rule, so we're actually going to right click on it and disable that rule, and we go back to the same screen and we actually do the nmap on port 8080, we see that it's still filtered by the proxy. The command again, yeah, it was that I didn't give enough time for the command to happen. So the port is open because I disabled the actual rule. So we were able to right click on the IP address and tell the IPS block anything that comes from that particular port. We were on the good guy. We actually asked BigFix to install Apex on it, Trusteer Apex. In fact, if we look at all the programs here, we see that Trusteer is now here. Let's see how things would have gone with if he would have had the protection of Trusteer in it. So here we open the mail client and we see the same attachment, and he clicks on it, and Trusteer recognizes that this is an unknown state for Adobe Reader to actually launch, and notice that it's actually telling that the exploit was actually prevented. So, and the bad guy on the Dark Comet screen will not see the attack succeeding. So here the bad guy will always be waiting for that Dark Comet to click, because Trusteer intercepted the opening of the socket to talk to the Dark Comet application. So